Something that struck me in the first part of our conversation was that when it came to be the time to find a venue to expand to, because Paulie's Place didn't
Mm,
suffice anymore, there were too many people, you found a venue and you came up with a name, One Love Productions.
yes.
And it's
Hmm.
interesting to compare that with what's happening now, where after those couple of instances back in September 2024, when it got near the end of the year, I was reflecting on what some of my favorite sets that I'd encountered throughout 2024 were. And two of my favorite sets, definitely two in my top five, were both Jocko at Vinyl and Vibes and at Decadence. So I reached out to Jocko to invite Jocko to come back again, and if Jocko wanted to curate an event. But if I understand
Hmm.
correctly, it was you, Bobby, Pet Sounds, that came up with the name again. And came up
Hmm.
with Big Love, just like you came up with One Love back in the day.
Hmm.
Could both of you expand a bit on this parallel? So think about back in the day when you find a venue and you come up with the name, and then in this instance, I reached out to Jocko, and then Jocko reaches out to you, and then you come up with this new name. Not only the new name, but the concept and the characters. I love the characters on the art. Could you both
Hmm.
expand a bit on how One Love and the whole ethos and the whole aesthetic and vibe of One Love came to be?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like I mentioned earlier, obviously One Love is a Bob Marley thing.
Hmm.
I'm a huge fan of Bob Marley, and I'm just a huge fan of the idea of love and what it means. I really think that there's a inherent love in all of things in the universe. There's this underlying good that exists in the universe, and obviously I have love for music and I have love for people, and warehouse music traditionally, obviously, has always been about inclusivity and just leaving all the bullshit at the door.
Mm.
So really, that's what it stems from. But the, I'm actually remembering now the very first time I put One Love Productions on anything. A friend, someone I went to school with, I was in college, and he knew that I was a DJ, and he wanted me to DJ a high school dance, and I did with my friend Brian. So that was actually the very most original inception, and like I had mentioned earlier, there were more iterations of it, but I always just kept coming back to that. But I needed something to put on an invoice, and at the time, I
Mm.
just thought it sounded good. But so flash forward to now. I mean, so obviously, I haven't used that in a long time since I moved to Minnesota. Um, but it has been carried on through other members. There was a radio show for a good while. Josh Gore, a friend of mine, and Eric Sorensen, they ran the radio show under the name One Love on the local radio station in Eau Claire. The whole thing about One Love Productions and the members, that my whole thing was is like I wanted someone, these are the people that we want to be a part of this, but I also encouraged everybody to do their own things too and explore their own paths. And that's what a lot of us did. Obviously, Paulie, while we were doing our thing, he wound up being a DJ for some of the hip hop uh, crews in Eau Claire, and he pursued that path as well. And we've always, like I said, I've always supported everybody doing their own thing. I think I remember at the time he even asked me, he's like, "Is that cool, man?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's cool, dude. Of course it's cool. This isn't this isn't an exclusive thing. You guys are free to do as you wish." But flash forward to now when Lauren approached me, I didn't originally intend it to be. I don't think I really had One Love Productions in mind when I came up with the concept, but I love this song Big Love, and it just really just popped in my head. Like, so maybe it was a subconscious thing, but I was just searching for ideas, and it didn't really take me long. I think I got off the phone with Lauren, and
Yep.
I wasn't even trying to think about it, but it was in the back of my mind that, okay, I have to come up with something. And yeah, that's Big Love is one of my favorite records, or house records anyway. The song by Pete Heller.
Hmm.
Hmm.
It's just a beautiful
Yep.
song. Also, too, can't remember. I probably had heard it somewhere recently too out, so it was probably in my mind. But so then after that, I think I mentioned something else. I was like, yeah, like One Love Productions, Big Love. And that's what it is. It's all about the love of the music, the love of the people. That's why that I came up with the slogan just the same way. I was like, I don't think the idea of having a slogan for it was in my mind. But when I thought big love, and then I just thought about it, I'm like, well, what else do you write? What else is there? Like, there's more, right? You know?
Hmm.
And then I was like, well, and I knew that the whole concept was centered around disco, and
Hmm.
disco house. So
Hmm.
I just said, well, we love, this is what we are about. This is what the concept is. We love disco, we
Hmm.
love house, and we love you, the the attendee, the people that make this happen, that make the
Right.
vibe on the dance floor. So yeah,
Right.
all of it just comes back to passion and love, and,
Hmm.
and my belief that there's like the saying love conquers all. It sounds so cheesy, but in my life and all of my experiences and everything that I've been through, like that's one of those things that I hold on to is just the love, not a romantic love, but a real love, a deep, unconditional love, you know.
Right.
I think that, what is it? Agape is what they say. Just
Yeah.
being
Hmm.
filled with that, and that's just how I try to operate. I try to make sure that when I'm making decisions, that I'm operating from a place of love and not fear. So,
Right.
it's more than the music. It's life itself, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Right. So now, what he just said, wouldn't that be a definition of big love?
Yes.
Yes.
He had me sold on love.
Yeah.
I was like, you're a genius. Because who can't relate to love? Love is a universal spiritual thing for me. And when you mention love, you're mentioning the one. You're mentioning one. We're
Mhm.
all love. It's God. God is love, love is God.
Hmm.
That's big. So when he put those two words together, in my mind, it doesn't get any bigger. Who can't relate to big love? You got kids that might not be able to portray, they might not even be able to speak, but they can feel big love.
Hmm. Hmm.
See, it's deep.
You know what I think it is too is it's also it's music that's made with love. Let me put it this way. Like, so I had a young kid ask me a couple weeks ago, as some because he found out like how long I'd been DJing, and he's like, well, what's the best advice that you can give somebody that's new and just starting out? And I thought about it for a second, and my response was, look for music that is timeless, right? Because you can buy all these the newest trends or whatever, the newest sounds, and a lot of this stuff that's put out now, it's disposable. It's popular for a couple weeks, and then what? Then you can't play it anymore because you're playing the next most popular thing. And when I look for music, I don't want to say that my music doesn't evolve, because it does, but the house music that I play now sounds very much like the house music that I was playing a long time ago. And those are the labels that I follow too. And that's what I mean when I say, if you find stuff that's timeless, you're going to be able to continue playing it. And I think that music, and that's not to say that people aren't making other music without love, but like, I think if you're really putting your heart and soul into something, it's going to be timeless, right? And that also harkens back to the statement that I made about the 101 years. And it's not just the lineup, it's the experience and the passion. And that there's passion when you find out that we've been doing it for this long, right? Because I'll be the first to admit I haven't really been successful as a DJ. I haven't tried to either, right? But I do it because I love it and I have passion for it. There's no other driving factor for me. So
Mhm.
it's not about, I don't I could care less about being a DJ so much as I want to play music that I love, and I want other people to hear it, right? It's
Mhm.
more the act of sharing something than doing something for me anyway.
Yep.
That's why I mix the way that I do. That's why I don't do a whole lot of tricks and effects and fiddling with
Mhm.
it, because if you buy good enough tracks, you don't need to do all that. And there's something that I really enjoy just about, playing tracks and long mixes. And like Lauren said, take you on a journey. You know what I mean? Let the tracks play out. Let them build and break down and build and break down again and break out and bring your next record in at a place that's appropriate for both songs to exist. Right. And that's not to
Mhm.
say that you can't smash them out too, but I play the songs that I like because I want people to hear them, right? And I try to air it out. I try to air, you know what I mean? I want people to hear
Mhm.
the song more than I
Mhm.
want them to hear me fiddling around with the buttons. But
Right.
that's just my perspective. That's my opinion. That's my style of mixing.
Yeah, you want
But
people to
that's
Well,
with
be able
house music. I
to.
should add that
mhm.
that's the way that I play house music. Obviously, I play other styles of music, and I play
Mhm.
techno very differently than I'm gonna play house music.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, I have to admit, I love to DJ. I do. I do. I DJ for myself. I'm at home. I'm alone. Nobody hears me. I'm probably gonna play for 6 hours, easy,
Hmm.
easy. Back at home in Chicago, where I'm from, we call that stretching out. And I would stretch out with nobody here but me. So when I come and I play out, it's second nature because I'm doing what, an hour set, 2 hours set. It goes by so fast for me. It goes by so because I'm used to these marathon sets that I do at home, you know, and bringing it back to the love. Is a camaraderie with DJs. You know, sure, I could have said, yes, Simon, I would love to do a night. Let me play by myself. I'm going to do the whole night by myself and just really stretch out. I said, no, that's love, but this is special. This is the first one.
Hmm.
I want to share as much love as possible and reach out to my comrades.
Hmm.
See what happened? Bobby was able to pinpoint 101 years. I wouldn't have never known that much love if I hadn't reached out to him.
Mm.
And if I hadn't been a DJ to say, hey, oh, this is my time to shine. Oh, spotlight's on me. I'm going to do the whole night. See how that works?
I do.
That works. That's true love.
It
And I
is.
love Bobby. Bobby's my little brother. Of course, I'm gonna pull my little brother in. I don't know if Bobby remember, but we had a conversation some years ago. Bobby played at First Avenue, and I was there to witness it. And I was so proud of my little brother. He played First Avenue, and I was like, Bobby, whoever gets on first, we got to pull the rest of the crew in. I said, you got a foot in the door. You got a foot in the door. We got to pull the rest of the brothers in. We got to pull the One Love crew up to Minneapolis. I said, whoever gets in first, pull the rest of the brothers in. So Bobby got in first, and then life happened, whatever, what have you. And here we are today. And then I got presented with an opportunity. First thing I did was call Bobby, because that's just been on my heart.